weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. Since we've no place to go.
Hello everyone, this is Denise of Something Beautiful Handcrafts, and basically I was all set to take a break today. I did everything but anything fiber arts related. Just feel like I needed to recharge. Okay, first of all, with this being the Christmas holidays, there's a lot of people are pretty much in a rush to do all kinds of stuff. So even if I'm not doing all the holiday prep stuff, I'm still, in the midst of that kind of atmosphere. So anyway, all kind of stuff went on other than spinning stuff. And I was trying to relax, feeling free from all of the pressure I put on myself to make these daily videos, all the pressure I put on myself trying to get ready to merchandise things for the Christmas holiday and to try to sell stuff. Just kind of releasing from all that pressure. And as I was relaxing, I was kind of bored. I was like, oh my goodness, what am I supposed to be doing now? When you get into a rhythm of always doing something, always making something, always trying to put all these plans together, you just kind of, it's like being on an adrenaline high. And when you stop, you're just kind of left fidgeting, trying to figure out what it is you're supposed to be doing. So at any rate, what was I doing? I got some coffee. Kind of mundane, not my spinning teaching stuff, but I got some coffee. And this is Harry and David, Harry's Christmas blend, which I've never heard of before in my life. But what I've been doing is trying to sample different coffee brands and seeing if there's one that I like in particular. When I was growing up, my mother had that silver bag of Colombian coffee, and she would brew that coffee, and I would drink, the leftovers that was in the pot, and she would just brew the grounds. And so I've been drinking coffee from a young age, and I just remember the taste of that Colombian coffee and watching that commercial with the Juan Valdez guy. And when I got older, and I mean like really older, because I've been drinking coffee for the longest time. In college, they started giving me migraines, so I stopped drinking caffeinated coffee, but I just like the taste of it. I don't necessarily need the caffeine. I can drink the caffeinated. And I kind of, I drank the big brands, Maxwell House or whatever. And recently started getting into some, I guess you would call them grocery store brands. I had some Seattle's Best. I think it was at Burger King, and I really liked it. Kind of like a dark, little bit of a smoky flavor. Kind of a heavy flavor. And so I drank that for a while. But I was always still trying to get that Colombian coffee taste I remember as a child. So I've been going through the brands. And, well, I'm sorry for you all who drink Starbucks. It's like swill to me. I can't drink that. And I like Panera. Used to have Wednesday Panera night with my knitting group for years. And for me, it stopped because I didn't have a car anymore, and I wasn't able to make the drive. And then I had some other things that were coming up on that same day. And then the days changed, but then I moved across town. So, I couldn't really reach them. And now it's COVID, so we do meet on Zoom, but it's not the same. It's not the same as going to Panera and having my Panera coffee, which is the only time I ever drink Panera coffee, because I've always been the person who makes their own coffee in the morning before I got to work, or someone at the job would make coffee for the teachers. So I've never been a buy a cup a day from any particular place coffee. So Panera was just for that, was Wednesday nights, and it was special. So, and Panera doesn't do coffee in the bag as far as I know, or at least they don't do it retail in stores like Starbucks would. So then I tried the 8 o'clock, and actually I kind of like the 8 o'clock. The thing about the Seattle's Best is there's a couple different blends, but they really smell. The ones that I enjoy the most really smell like old cigarettes. So switch to the 8 o'clock, which is slightly milder. It's still rich and robust, but it's a slightly milder coffee. And then I tried the Dunkin Donuts. I hear great things about Dunkin Donuts, and I don't consider it swill like I do Starbucks. Sorry, Starbucks drinkers. But it's not a very strong coffee. To me, it's very lightweight and weak coffee, which okay if you like lightweight and, you know, kind of mild coffee. But I could drink a strong dark coffee, black, because I'm interested in the taste of the coffee, even though I do like my sugar. And I very seldom drink the coffee with any creamer, except for the occasional caramel macchiato, I think it's called, and maybe like the Irish cream. Or, you know, who is it that makes those Irish cream creamers? I don't know. But I prefer not to even drink it with any cream in it at all. Just black, dark. And if not, just, you know, with some sugar in it. So it really has to have a strong taste. Otherwise, it's just pretty much, you know, brown water with milk and sugar. And if I wanted that, I would have cocoa. Okay, so tried that. I haven't tried the Tim Hortons yet. I've heard all these rave reviews about Timmy's. And before, I couldn't get it anywhere. I just heard about it, never saw it. I live on the wrong side of the border, or just, you know, here in Ohio, we're not very cosmopolitan. So, couldn't get it before. And now I've been seeing it. Some of the local grocery stores are a little more posh. So I will pick up a bag and try that. But in the meantime, I was just really feeling that kind of holiday thing for those coffees that you can only get around the holidays. Not pumpkin spice. I don't do anything pumpkin. Maybe if it was sweet potato pie flavored, probably still not. But the peppermints, and I do like a good mint. And the nice, you know, kind of cool flavors. I don't know anyone who's out there who's ever had Javelia coffee, but Javelia tends to have these really interesting flavored coffees and teas, and I can go for that when the flavor's good. I really like a flavor called Jamaican Me Crazy, and I used to have it all the time at Wally World, and then it just stopped, and I was just so upset. I found it at another local grocery store, but they only have K-Cups. So, just kind of sad there. But I was in the aisle and I saw this, coming back to this, Harry and David. It's Harry's Christmas Blend Coffee. Okay. And it's a butterscotch caramel, natural and artificially flavored, it says. Sounded pretty interesting to me. I most certainly love butterscotch. And who doesn't love caramel? Looking forward to it. Yeah, it's also a K-Cup. And I gave it a whirl. And I gotta say, it's not as good as Jamaican Me Crazy. I'm not sure anything is. But it most certainly is a nice coffee. It has a pretty mild taste. It's not like super robust, but it carries its own weight. And it's just got a hint of the butterscotch and the caramel. And it kind of leaves your mouth tasting a bit like butterscotch. And that was a pretty nice pick-me-up there to the holiday season. I am a big fan of peppermints, and I have peppermints, of course, year round. But I don't know if you've ever heard that song, Candy Cane Lane, and it talks about just a hint of peppermint. It makes it feel like it's December, and it's so true. And that butterscotch and caramel just kind of gave me that feel. I know there's a lot of people who associate, the winter and the holidays with cocoa and marshmallows and eggnog and the kind of things that just make you have that holiday feel. I don't drink eggnog. I don't like milk, dairy products, pretty much, except for like ice cream and sour cream. So I don't do the eggnog thing. And I can't drink the cocoa. I just can't tolerate the cocoa or lots of chocolate, especially hot chocolate. Good hot chocolate is too rich. So I'm more of a peppermint type person. A little bit of butterscotch. And yes, peppermint does always kind of give me that feel. And interestingly enough, the coffee just kind of put me in the sharing mood. Something I don't do very often, or pretty much I don't ever do, just kind of sit and talk and shoot the breeze. I wonder where that phrase came from. Because I don't have a very interesting life. So there's not really much to talk about. And a lot of my hobbies are so very niche that unless I'm in a group that's talking about that particular hobby, it doesn't give me much to really talk about. I'm only interesting if I'm talking about this topic. And that doesn't mean that I don't have any opinions either. The problem is I'm very heavily opinionated on pretty much every subject you can think of. And so I've always been led to believe when I was younger that people prefer people who are not very strongly opinionated. They like people who are pleasant and not opinionated. So I've always tried to be pleasant. I've tried to be factual and not necessarily opinionated about anything. And I've learned as I've gotten older that that doesn't make you pleasant. It kind of makes you plain. And when you're doing something that involves social media, the people that you like and you watch are the people who are opinionated. They're not plain or pleasant, and you can get enough of that basically anywhere in the world. If you're going to sit and watch somebody for 20 minutes, it ought to be somebody who's different than what you're seeing every day. Plain and pleasant is really not going to get me anywhere. It's just pretty much best to be yourself. And I am weird and wacky and odd, and I'm excitable. I have a quirky sense of humor, and I find the strangest things interesting. I'm not sarcastic, but I do have a bit of a biting sense of humor. And there that thing goes again. All day long, nobody says anything, and I start recording, and all of a sudden it wants to chirp. At some point, I'll work on that. But at any rate, what I'm saying, what all of this is about is that, oh, and we're squeaking. What is all that about? I have been trying to appeal to as wide an audience as possible, as many people as possible. And in that way, you pretty much appeal to nobody. And just like this squeaky wheel, I think I'm about ready to be seen and heard. Oh my goodness, this is just too funny. I think tomorrow, I will record, and we're going to talk about this Chatty machine and how to make it stop, because obviously it needs some proper love, and I haven't given it to it. So maybe we should talk about oiling and maintenance of your wheel. And maybe what I should finally do is replace this sorry brake band. Wait till you see it. It's in pretty bad shape, but I just insist on spinning on it until it pops off. Okay, that's enough for now. I've been coming down a little bit of tendonitis in my wrist. Probably a little bit too much use of power tools. But I do know that if I don't continue with the mindset of finishing this, that this poor yarn is going to stay on this bobbin a lot longer than I'd like it to. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. Got a few things I got to get done. Thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. Have a great day.